Welcome back.
How you doing?
Good. It's been quite a while.
Yeah, we took like a week off because of Thanksgiving and stuff, right?
Yeah.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was uneventful.
Did you guys have anyone over? Or was it just you, Julia, Jack, and...
Well, and my wife's parents, because they now live with us until they find their own place.
They live with you? Wait,
Yeah,
what's your other son's name? Why can I not remember it?
Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, no, they sold their house in Ohio now until they find their own place. They're living with us, so.
I remember you talked about them trying to find a place down there and that they were house sitting a place, but I didn't realize. How are all of you fitting in that house?
It's tough. Like we're just waiting for the projects to get done at the new house so we can move and they can stay here for a while.
That was my next question. Were they going to stay there?
Yeah.
How's the new? Well, so wait. First, I need to know where you're all living. So you got you and Julia, and I guess has Jack's room become their room?
No, Julia's mom is sleeping with Jack in the bed that he's in. He's in a queen size bed, and her dad.
That's the same bed that was in there when I was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, on the floor though.
Why on the floor?
Because we put him in it when he was very young.
Okay.
I mean, he was less than 2. It was like right when Jamie was born, we moved him to his own room, but with a queen size bed on the floor. We didn't want him to roll off of it and hurt himself.
Yeah.
So, but it was for the purpose of like being able to have people like sleep in there with him, or he could move to our bed and people could use that bed as a guest room if they need to. But with this situation, she's just sleeping with him and her dad's sleeping in the room that I record in on the futon, because that's actually better. Amazingly, it's the only bed that he can sleep in that doesn't hurt his back, because he's got a bad back.
Okay. Wow.
I see you
staring. And
staring.
Jamie's still in y'all's room?
Yes. Yes.
Gotcha.
Oh God, that needs to end soon though.
How old is he now?
He's almost 2.
Right. It's about the same time Jack was whenever. It's funny. Deja vu, because I remember this exact same conversation. That needs to end soon.
Yeah. But the sad thing is, like, though, Jamie doesn't talk yet.
Really?
Jack was like full on sentences, conversations. Jamie is just behind in that department. Jamie, it's sad because he clearly understands. Because you tell him to do anything and he goes and does that exact thing. He'll go grab whatever you tell him to. Like, he knows what you're saying. It's not a question of like mental development. It's just apparently when they have when kids have a sibling that talks all the time, they usually develop slower in language because they don't have to talk, is what we've read. And so hopefully it's true. Though I will say he says like mama, dada. He says those words, but he says very few other words occasionally and like only once, and we'll never say it again. And then he resorts to like, he said like banana the other day. And I was like, oh, say banana. And he goes, and all he says is and points to things then, like after that. So it's really strange.
Do you think you're putting too much emphasis on the speech and so it's like intimidating?
I'm putting quite a bit on it. Today he started using a completely different sound though. He was like mama, dada, he started like making these more, and then he says duh, duh, duh. He's just started doing these other sounds today that weren't normal. So I think he's about to like break out and just start having conversations.
So I read about this, like, I was reading this thing about speech. I don't know why, but it was talking about kids' speech development. It wasn't talking about siblings necessarily, but it was talking about how some kids, it seems like they want to just like, before they start really talking, they want to be able to form full sentences basically. And so they go from like what you're talking about to suddenly they're just, like you said, they're just talking. Like, well, and I'm here with a paragraph.
And that's what I'm kind of hoping for, because I feel because Jack started talking. I want to say, and I know this isn't true, but I want to say before he was 1, but I know that's not true. But he was, when Jamie was born, he was 23 months old, because they were born like just less than 2 years apart. And Jack was full on conversationalist, like no questions about that.
Right. Yeah, I remember that with my daughter too. Before 2,
Jamie's a month away from that.
Yeah, that is definitely different, but hopefully it's like you said, siblings, and then he's just going to break out.
Yeah, that's what because I feel like he's behind. But the only reason I'm not concerned is, like I said, he understands everything. So even if he goes through life and he all of a sudden, if you find out the man can't talk for whatever reason, like, but he can still do things and understand, like that's fine. He'll make it. Like he'll do He'll do well. It's not like you don't say something like get us a book. He's just not like walking into the door head first, like over and over again. You know, he
What's
shows up with a book.
Right. So we had a book over here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I saw you reading something over here.
I haven't read it yet. I was gonna wait. We haven't talked.
Was it in a frame?
It was in a book frame or in an item frame, and it said "To Guude from PETA," and the title of the book is "Guude's Warning."
So okay, so here's a couple things to point out here.
Mm-hmm.
PETA. And I want to look at this up before I make a fool of myself. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So this is from The Bread.
Yep, it is.
And,
right, because PETA is PETA.
Right, and it's not to me. So
yeah, no, you're just not included. Guude's Warning. Jeff's just forgotten.
If it was from the other PETA, the PETA, you never seem to want things from PETA, so I would already be like, thank God it's not to me. But now I'm kind of like, am I missing out on some good like bread information here?
You know, if you remember back in season 4-ish, I created something called PETA to go up against something generic B was doing. I don't remember the exact details now. The thing is, I think it was spelled that way for a reason at that time, and I knew it was spelled wrong. So I think this might be a throwback sort of thing. But boy, it's been a long time. I've slept a lot of time since then. I don't remember. I don't remember the details, but I think I spelled it wrong on purpose then. For it didn't mean people. What does PETA actually stand for? I don't remember.
People for the ethical treatment of animals.
Yes, it didn't mean that. It meant something else, but it was the same sort of thing.
I think this might stand for people for the inferior treatment of animals.
It might. So maybe maybe they want to hurt our pandas.
Yeah, I am concerned. I would say I'm missing out on good bread things though, but you did say the title was Guude's Warning, so maybe I'm happy my name's not on the side.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might be upset the bread's not rising correctly or something. You know, the wrong leavening agent. Who knows? All right, I'm gonna open it up. Let's see what we get here. To Guude again, just me, only me.
Okay, just making sure.
On behalf of PETA, I, the Sage of Games. You know what? Maybe he just can't spell because it's not the Sage of Games. It's TEH Sage of Games. So Sage of Games.
Is that maybe that's a person's name? Sage of Games.
Sage of Games. Okay, yeah, you're right. Could be Sage of Games. That's his name now. I, Sage of Games, express their great disbelief and disappointment that you, Guude, their once representative on the Minecraft server, would not only mistreat pandas. So it is a throwback to the original PETA, which was spelled this way. I don't remember what it meant. So this already, to Sage of Games, as you can see, as the man that once represented PETA, I've already forgotten all about you.
Okay, so this was legitimately from PETA, PITA.
Yeah. Not the bread.
Not the bread.
It means something.
But
I don't know what it means.
The season 4 organization.
Yeah, okay. Exactly. I think it was season 4. Would not only mistreat pandas so badly, but also lead others to do the same. From whiteness?
we getting into race? Panda race on here?
Yeah. From whiteness statements, videos, and photographs, PETA has determined that you, Guude, and your followers of the Panda Army have captured, force-bred, held in other overpacked pens, held in boats, and transported in unsafe and experimental methods just to be dropped from potentially lethal heights and abandoned on someone else's doorstep. These majestic pandas that you needed some punctuation there, my man. Just gonna tear this man's letter apart. These majestic pandas that have harmed nobody without provocation. Considering your representation of PETA and how much your daughter cares for pandas, PETA had hoped these were false allegations or at least blown out of proportion. But alas, even they had to admit how horrible these pandas were being treated. So with great sadness and disappointment's only got one S. Disappointment. PETA has asked me to inform you that unless the Panda Army changes their ways, PETA will have to get an English teacher involved and take action on behalf of the pandas. Sincerely, PETA representative to Sage of Games.
Huh. Well, I mean, is there a manual that we are supposed to follow to understand?
I mean, I feel like as the founding father of an organization, I set the bylaws, so you're fired.
Well, so what I'm looking at
Not
here
you, him.
is what I'm looking at here is we don't even keep them caged in. This door is there's not even a door here. You can't even shut it.
That's true.
They're free to
It's
leave
true.
whenever
You
they
know,
want.
I've read a lot about the humane treatment of chickens, for example, and I feel like pandas and chickens are not the same, but we can apply the same kind of concepts here. And knowing how farmers and stuff treat chickens, chickens are considered free range as long as they have at least 3 inches of daylight they can step out into. These pandas can step out into infinite amounts of daylight, so they're treated humanely.
I'm trying to see if there's a. I mean, this door is okay. This door is too small for them. So they can't come out this way. But look at all these guys outside over here. They're all just like all these people chilling in their boats. Like this is where they come out to hang out. Even they got a zombie friend and they got a pig friend too.
Yeah. No, I don't see it. I think that these are unfounded claims. How do you feel about the claim that we subjected them to experimental
I feel like we
methods?
didn't subject them to any type of experimental transportation methods because we experimented with it with our bodies before we put the PETAs into it. We like did clinical trials the opposite way. We were like human testing first to make sure it's safe for the panda.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, and
hey, things always didn't go 100% right, but hey, no vaccine's ever 100% effective either.
That's true. But really, the pandas just got a fantastic ride and an exciting day, I think. And also, these pandas are volunteers, really, aren't they? This is an army. Like, they're not paid. It's a volunteer army, right?
As far as I know, I mean, I'm not paying them unless somebody else is paying them, and we didn't know this was a rogue organization like that. But I don't think that's the case. But hold on, there was another part in there about force breeding. Trust me, there was no forcing that had to be done to get these pandas to, do the thing. We just gave them food and shelter, and bam, they were just like they were basically you compared them to chickens earlier. I will compare them to rabbits now.
I know a little bit about rabbits.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. No, you give rabbits free reign, they become rabbits.
And he talks about the whiteness. Well, while I agree that there's, like, a much more dominated white pandas in here, we definitely have all pandas of all demographics represented.
He says from whiteness statements. What's a whiteness statement?
I'm sure witness statement is what I'm sure he meant.
No.
I mean, whiteness statement. Yeah, whiteness statements.
You have to use his words. You can't interpret his words. If we're going to interpret his words, we could just go deep with it, right? But no, we have to use what he said from whiteness statements. What is that? I don't know what that means.
Oh, you know what actually probably happened? This person, they're so prone to spelling errors, they meant the ethical treatment of pandas, not the unethical treatment of pandas.
Oh, you know what? You're probably right. This whole thing was a letter crafted to say that.
Well, no, he's against pandas. He's against us treating them ethically. He's trying to step in because we are so ethical to our pandas.
You're right. Absolutely. I think you're right. What do you think? I wish I remember what PETA stood for to begin with.
Which one? Your PETA?
Yeah. I mean, he's trying to say he represents the organization that I created, which I don't. I mean, it's
been a long time since you've been out of the organization, Guude. They have to move on without their leader.
Do they? Is that how this works?
I mean, if you didn't,
I mean, should there be like a chain, like a custody chain or something like that?
Like copyright on it or anything? Like, if not, they had to just let the business keep going.
So okay, so you form a business and you start it up. You're selling, I don't know, pencils. So you got the Jeff's pencil business, and you stopped making pencils for like 4 years because you got busy making babies instead.
But did I have like a bunch of employees that were just like waiting for me?
I never had any employees in PETA. There was no employees. I worked alone. So how does that happen? How does it go from the organization that I founded to to Sage of Games.
I mean, is it like the title to your car? If you just left it out in the open and somebody found it and put their name on it, does that all of a sudden make it theirs?
Is that how car titles work?
Did you leave like the articles of incorporation?
Can you do that with a car title? Can you find a car title and put your name?
Technically illegally. Actually, I just recently found out because my my in-laws just sold one of their cars when they moved, and they ended up so they tried to sell it on Craigslist. Guy apparently, like, you could tell he was just shady, and this was like an old 1998 like pickup truck, like worth $700, whatever it is. I don't know. They were trying to sell it for like $1,000 in Craigslist, and this guy came and apparently with this huge sob story, and they could tell like it was really shady at first, and like, but whatever, it's pickup truck, who gives a fuck? We're gonna get rid of this thing. Finally, he wants $700 is the max he'll give. Okay. Signs the title, gives it to him. That's all the guy wants. Guy leaves. 2 days later, they get a call from this lady who bought a car from the guy. It's from this guy who claims it was his car, basically just passing over the title that already had, my in-law's signature on it because they had signed it because that's what he wanted them to do. That's what you're supposed to do, to sell a car. And she couldn't do anything with it because apparently in the state of Ohio, where they came from, you have to have a notarized you have to have it notarized to have the title be accepted. I've sold cars before in Michigan. There's no notary required. In D.C., I didn't sell a car here, so I don't know how it works. I guess I'll have to find out pretty soon. But yeah, when I was in Michigan, it was bought and sold cars like a couple times from people. It's just you sign it, they sign it. You put an odometer mileage, you put the price that you pay, you go to the Secretary of State, they say, okay, you owe us taxes on that money, that number that you put down of the sale price, and car transfers, or title is transferred.
Really?
So yes, in some states it's that easy, but you would have to still illegally sign it to somebody else, unless they left their title signed in their glove box for some reason. But in theory, if somebody left their title signed in their glove box. Is that what you're
supposed to do?
Is what?
I said, that's where my title's at. Is that not what you're supposed to do?
It's absolutely not what you're supposed to do, especially if you signed it in the sale fields.
Yeah, I did.
And notarized it.
Yeah, already notarized.
And said, put a price on there, free.
Mm-hmm. To anyone that finds this letter, please take my car. Well, I don't really know what to do with this this letter. I mean, what are his demands? He brings my daughter into this, for one thing.
That's true. That's like a hit below the belt there.
Yeah. How much your daughter cares about pandas. You don't know my daughter. PETA had hoped that these were false allegations, or at least blown out of proportion. But alas, even they had to admit how horrible these pandas are being treated. So with great disappointment, PETA has asked me. So he doesn't. Wait, hold on. He says PETA. He says PETA representative, but he also says PETA has asked me. I guess they've asked him to whatever. To inform you that unless the panda army changes their ways, PETA will have to get involved and take action on behalf of the pandas. What does that mean?
I mean, what I think, again, typo meant to say, PETA has coped with these false allegations, showing like it's proven that we were in the right, of course, even though we've already changed the beginning to say that we were ethical. So if we now said we coped with these false allegations, the allegations that we were ethical are the false ones. But ignoring that, and that wormhole you can go down. Yes.
Okay, you have to see a thing.
Where am I going to?
Come to me.
Hold on. I was just walking through the contraption to see how it looked. Please tell me this is an ethical thing that you're doing to the pandas.
It's not the pandas. It's pretty ridiculous there. I'm right outside, like where the beds and stuff are at. Okay. So I walked over here. I saw this Ender Pearl bouncing, right? Mm-hmm. And it says, and I saw it when we came in, so it's been bouncing there for quite a while. And it says press button for service, right?
Yeah.
What's that button?
Wait, what?
Uh, so I guess he throws the Ender Pearl down there, right? And then he just leaves. And
He just shows back up like when,
yeah, because
when
it's a
you-
thrown pearl.
What happens if we deload this area?
I think so. They were talking about
Here,
something like this.
Let's go into the Nether real quick and then come back.
Yeah, I don't think it'll work if the chunk unloads. Basically, because I saw them talk about in Discord about something to do with ender pearls and chunk loading and stuff. And I don't even know what they were talking about at the time, but I think they were talking about this basically. I bet the pearl will be gone.
Nope, it's
still there.
Well, is he around?
No, he's gone, basically.
So, I'm just trying to think. Like, can you imagine if you did that and forgot somewhere out in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah,
And
he's just out there living his life, and
you're
then suddenly
literally
he's
just
here.
doing something. I guess what happens if he goes into the Nether?
I don't know. I mean, I guess if we had ender pearls, we could figure this. We could play with it and figure it out ourselves, right? I don't have any ender pearls though.
No.
See if there's any in here. Or it's not my ender chest. It's not though.
Nope. Yeah, I am so curious on that. I did see a video. Did you know that you can put like minecarts over, get bounced up on the water, things like this too? You can make like minecarts go across water if they're the bubbly ones.
No.
If I'm in the Nether, when I press the button. Wait, this particular stall disabled and the chunk unloaded. Wait, what happened? I didn't understand that. If I'm in the Nether when you press the button, it can still be. Wait, did he not answer that? I don't understand.
He's saying if he's in the Nether, whenever we press the button, it doesn't work because you can't teleport him out of the Nether.
But what does it do? Just nothing? Just break the pearl?
Yeah, the pearl just goes away basically. He says this one will break if the chunk is unloaded. It didn't seem to. I mean, I guess maybe the chunk stays loaded for a little while or something whenever we leave the Nether, or maybe someone else is around right now. Like I don't know.
Do you think
But
Pete's
he's saying it breaks if the chunk's unloaded.
You think Pete is watching?
PETA might be watching. That's possible.
Oh,
PETA peepers. Peeper PETA.
Gotta find that spy. Oh, we gotta go see the next episode. We'll have to go see the book's been updated.
Yeah, I've heard there might be something new in there, so I have to go check that out. But thanks for watching. Everyone had a good Thanksgiving. I want to talk to you about your Thanksgiving, what y'all ate and stuff like that. We'll have to do it in the next episode. So yeah, thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.